$5 million to improve the Headspace network, Indigenous programs and a range of initiatives that help parents recognise when their child is struggling. Australians are more concerned about climate change than ever before. That's according to a report by the Australia Institute, which has tracked public attitudes on the issue for more than a decade.
Politicians need to listen.
Student protesters making their voices heard outside Parliament House. They're calling for an end to fossil fuel investments by 2030.
That is not a partisan issue. This is not a left or right issue. This means that people of all political leanings are concerned with this issue. It transcends a political divide and it's an issue that affects us all.
According to the Australia Institute's Climate of the Nation report, more than 80% of Australians are concerned that climate change will cause more droughts and flooding. Nearly 70% think there should be an orderly phase out of coal. About half believe Australia shouldn't wait for other major emitters to act on climate change, and even more believe the country should have a national target for zero net emissions by 2050.
We need to do a lot because the things are changing very drastically. So I don't think so we have much of time. And the later on generation going to ask what you have done.
I feel like there's not really a proper response to it as of yet. And if we leave it too late, there could be drastic future consequences for it.
Amid mounting public pressure, the UK has committed to a target of zero net emissions by 2050. There have been many similar protests here. So far, the government has committed to reducing greenhouse gas emissions to 26 to 28% below 2005 levels by 2030.
A more ambitious climate policy looks like a higher target than 26%. Something more like double is what is actually in line with the Paris Agreement's global goal.
And experts say this is an opportunity for Australia to actually lead the way.
It's also getting on the front foot in terms of developing technologies which are high-tech, high export potential, clean, green, desirable technologies, which we're really good at doing that sort of thing.
Prime Minister Scott Morrison will attend the United Nations Climate Action Summit later this month, where the UN hopes countries will outline their plans to reach net zero emissions by 2050. Matt Canellan, SBS World News.
Well, it seems tax cuts and interest rate reductions aren't